Gen X Talks, when it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. friends, the World Show. Welcome to the World Show. It is Friday, 10 a.m. Los Angeles time, Friday, May 26th, and that was just going to be a very short show. In fact, thank you. Good night. We'll see you later. I'm fucking with you, but it is going to be a short show. Not on purpose. No. Now, let me back up here before we get into solving one of the mysteries of the world, because we're only going to have time for one. I know we normally can sit here and we can put our collective heads together, but tonight it's not going to be that easy. Or today, or this evening, or this morning, wherever you are. All right, hold on. Let me check over between the sheets. Good, the sheets are empty. The trap is clean. The light is green. Here we go. I had solar panels. We put solar panels on our house many moons ago. All right. And there's a monitoring panel that you have in your garage. And every time I don't know about you guys, we change our passwords and our Wi-Fi stuff around here. It's like washing clothes. It's like every day. We change it all the time. So, you have to go to this box and plug in your laptop with a cord. Yeah, you got to have an Ethernet cord into this device, into your laptop. We don't even have a laptop anymore that has an Ethernet cord on the outside of it, which doesn't matter because about 3 weeks ago, we tore apart the garage where all these shelves were, where this box used to be, this solar panel monitoring box, and it's gone. I don't even see where it was anymore. Now, I'm not going to blame me. I'm going to blame my kids. One of the benefits of having children is you can blame them for all of your problems, which I regularly do, and I highly recommend doing it. It makes you feel much better about yourself. You can continue charging forward that you are doing the best job as a parent, but your kids are failures, and then everything's on them. I wish I could get them to pay for it. So we don't have a way to check to see if all of our solar panels are working correctly. It's been a long time. We got on a waiting list for a special box, for a special panels for what we have, and it's been, 6 months. The guy says, okay, we got the part. We scheduled a time for the solar repair installation Cool Cat to come out and reconfigure at 8:30 this morning. That was just almost 2 hours ago. They called just before showtime and said, we won't be there till 10:30. Now, I didn't receive the phone call. My wife received the phone call. I was sitting in a chair. She was sitting on the couch. The phone rings. She's talking. She's very businessy. I'm looking over at her, and all I heard her say was, that'll be fine. That works for us. That's it. She didn't say, let me talk to my husband. No. She didn't say, give me a second. Let me see if that's going to work for all the parties concerned. She just gave the go-ahead, and then she hangs up. I said, who was that? She goes, oh, that was the solar company. They're now coming at 10:30 instead of 8:30. And I said, your reply was, that'll work for us? That's what you said? She goes, yeah, everything's fine. I go, it's not fine. We have a world show. It starts at 10. It ends at 11. 10:30 is right in the middle of the show. And you know the guy's, he's going to come early. Not because he's efficient, but he's already bumped us from 8:30, which means he's running long on a job. He'll finish it up, and he'll be here any minute, or at least on time. And then there I'll be, having to go, well, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. Because I can't send my wife out there to you send her out there, and she automatically, my wife is so smart and so beautiful, and she turns into the dumb blonde. Well, golly, Mr. Solar Guy, I don't know. It's right over there. I think if you put it here, I don't know. You're so strong. You're so handsome. Just do whatever you think is best. No. She does it every fucking time. Now, she gets a lot of stuff for free. I will admit that. But I got to be out there to tell the guy what I want. This is solar panels, electronics. This is computers. This is low voltage electrical, and I'm the man. It's my garage, and I make these decisions. So I'm going to have to punt on part of the program today so that I can go do that. I don't know how much of it yet. But as soon as my little camera says that there's someone coming up the driveway, I'm going to exit stage left. Of course, that may be to the right to you. It's to the left of me. Anyway. Just so you know, that's how we ended up in this little debacle and under a time crunch. Now, she should have put the guy on hold and checked with her husband. She should have recognized the weight of the ring on her finger and got me involved, but she didn't. Frustrates me, frustrates you. It's going to ruin the show. It's going to ruin the program. And for what? Because she decided she was going to put on the boots today and be the man. Yeah. Decisions like that, things like that, remind me of one of the greatest philosophers of the 20th century, Iceman, from a town called Bodfish who looked at me one day and said, chicks, man. Chicks. Truer words had never been spoken. All right. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to move on. The Shoeless one. Shoeless Joe Jackson gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships. That's to the YouTube side of things. Jeff B. Jason Mitz. I'm going to fuck that name. Mitchell. Thomas. God, where do you guys come up with these names? Thomas Biala Aruki. I'm reading between the sheets over here. Thomas Biala Aruki, Alan Lawson, and Barbaric Wolf. The only one I knew out of that was Barbaric Wolf. That's a cool name. He got that right from a comic book. Adam Schneidleton dropped in $5, $4.99. Looking forward to a great show. Adam, it's going to be great, but it's going to be short, just like my sex life. Stacy gave $20. Turn my whole screen orange over here. $10 for the studio fund. $10 for the General's Liquor. Now, Stacy, looking out for a guy who needs some alcohol, and boy, do I need some. A little too early for me, but I'm brave. I'll start. I'm not going to turn down some hooch if somebody passes it along. So, in the World Show, there's a lot of little things going on. Talk about Iran preparing for a nuclear weapon. That's always been a hot topic. Just at street level. I'm not talking about White House level. I'm not talking about foreign dignitary level. I'm just going to give you my opinion, and then I'll read some of the comments and see what you guys think. But in my opinion, in my backyard barbecue, dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert opinion, Iran should not be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. They're not responsible. The people that run the government are bad people generally, and they wouldn't be afraid to use it, and they'd feel justified. They'd feel like, well, we fucking did it, we got it, we wanted to use it, and fuck you, we did. Well, you can't do that. This isn't one of those things where you have to be the bigger man and you're in a bar fight, and you got to wait for, why don't you take the first swing, why don't you punch me first, which, by the way, I don't do. We'll get to that in a minute. But with Iran, you can't wait. Like, well, you go ahead and punch. But if you swing, if you punch us, then we're gonna unload on you. This isn't a bar fight. You can't do it that way. You can't be honorable and wait for someone to attack you. Then you're justified in attacking. No, not when it comes to nuclear weapons, man. I don't know. I think from what I know, if Iran absolutely gets to the point where they have a functioning nuclear weapon that can reach some great lengths, I got a feeling Israel would take them out. Write that down. Right, Mrs. 4, write that down on a piece of paper. I think that if it got to that point while everyone else is deciding what to do, Israel's going to say, well, we're just going to fucking do it. And they'd wipe it out. They'd wipe out the facility that had the weapons. I would be for that. They're not gaining nuclear weapons to be part of the big boy network. They're not gaining nuclear weapons so they can rub shoulder to shoulder with the United States and Russia and China and England and India. No, they're not. They're doing it so they can launch one. They're doing it so they can squash some perceived enemies that they don't fucking like, and they don't like Israel. We can't react afterwards to that shit. You got to just tell them, I know we've talked about it. You just got to say, look, if you make one, we're going to fucking come over there and spank it. Don't make one. Do something else. Build some cars. Try your hand at digging for gold. Something else. Build the world's biggest zoo. We'll all come visit. But if you build a nuclear weapon, we're going to have to fucking hurt you. We'll even give you a warning. Get out of the building. You got 8 seconds. That's my opinion. I think that when a country that is that completely unstable and angry, it just shouldn't be allowed. You got to go over and rip it out of their hands and go, okay, all right, enough, stop. Stop what you're doing. You're not doing this. You can cry all you want, but in the end, you just go back and play. Go play nice with the neighbors. That's my feeling on the matter. Now we move into, remember, I'm trying to race through this quickly because I know my time is limited here. Let me see. Hold on. Between the Sheets, Evelyn, member for 6 months. Does anyone, old school wise, do the Pledge of Allegiance anymore? I don't know, Evelyn, if they do. When we did our big shows, you guys remember the big shows, the game shows we used to do? mainly on TikTok, but they were big show. They were called a big show for a reason. Remember Dead Air, Paper Toss, Frozen, Call from God, stuff like that. Those were a lot of fun. Those were a literal fun game show thing to do. And we did the Pledge of Allegiance every time that we began a big show. We all of us did it here. And I would tell people, if you don't like it, get the fuck out. I would tell people, because they'd watch from all over the China. TikTok's a big China thing. And I would look right at the camera and do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you don't like it, fuck off. Or ban us. Whatever you feel. I don't know who still does that. I'd like to know, though. William Pearson, Whiskey Fund. Do you remember Robert Jones and his child support? Do I have to pay for you to answer my questions? You know, there's still comments come up. There's a YouTube studio app. It covers quite a bit of stuff on it. I'm still learning a lot of it. But one of the things you can do is hit comments, and it just runs in chronological order from most recent, all the comments. It doesn't matter what video it's on. So you can have multiple videos in there. It shows a little picture of the video and the comment, and you can just go through and interact with the comments. And you'd be surprised how many are still that old Robert Jones video where someone has some snide comment to say about him. That's funny. Melanie Cole, member for 4 months. Thank you, Melanie, for sticking around. So the other thing that popped up on my screen, talking about the war in Ukraine. Now, we all know that Russia they've been, what are they, like their 9th time now recently that they've lobbed a bunch of missiles into Kiev, and they're softening the ground in different places. The ground war is coming. There's going to be an offensive real soon. And I got to think that this is going to be an all or nothing for both sides. I really do. Write that down, Mrs. Ford. This is kind of an all or nothing. This is going to be decides the big enchilada here. And I think that they're talking about there's countries, and I don't want to get them wrong, that want to give F-16s to Ukraine. And I was going on. There was a guy. What was this guy's name? He was a retired lieutenant general. He had some great insight to this. Number one, we're talking about F-16s going there. How long is it going to take to train Ukrainian pilots to fly the F-16? We've already started. It takes a year. Takes a year to get people up to speed on that airship. And while an F-16 will do some good in the sky, which I don't think there'll be as much fighting in the sky as you think. I think a lot of the surface-to-air missiles are going to keep things relatively quiet on both sides. However, the Warthog, the A-10 Warthog, is a great ground pounder. That fucking thing is indestructible. Easy to train on, much less time for training. And it is a great air-to-ground weapon. It's great for that. Why aren't we giving them those? They're quicker to train on. They're better for the circumstance, and they're running. Yeah, we're phasing a lot of these older ones out anyway. We just give them to them when we're taking them off the board and saying, okay, they're no longer part of our fleet anymore. Give them to those guys. We're taking them off the board anyway. Give them to them, and like what are they running? 95% of them are in the air and servicing and running. They're mobile. They're usable. What are we at with our F-16s? 60% of our F-16s are usable. I mean, you're talking about what's the reliability factor? It's much more reliable. It's tougher. Not as good air to air. Give you that. But air to ground, huge, easier to train, and we're getting rid of them anyway. But amazingly enough, I know what you guys are thinking, but I'm going to have to confess something here. You're not going to believe this. President Biden hasn't called me. He hasn't even asked. He hasn't said, hey, what do you think? I keep my phone on. It's not just on vibrate, man. Like right now, the ringer's on. If 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue calls right now, I'm going to answer. I'm at the ready to serve my country with advice that's needed, and no one's calling. I don't understand why. I have to look into that. So, yeah, what do we got here? Dr. Jekyll just gave Ukraine to Russia and stopped the nonsense. We all know Ukraine is corrupt and the progressive left's playground. It's a mess over there. I have such a hard time. You know what he just said? Now she erased it, so I don't even know what the guy's name was. I wanted to say Dr. Jekyll. There we go. Dr. Jekyll. I agree with some of that. We've talked about this before a little bit. If Arizona left the United States, if the United States had a big civil war type of problem and we got all fucked up and our economy collapsed, our government collapsed, and we rebuilt ourselves, okay, the United States is back. But during that time, Arizona had left and said, nah, we're not part of the United States anymore. And we, as a country, said, well, fuck you. We're coming back. You're going to be part of the United States. There's already a bunch of flags with 50 stars. We're not going to make new flags with 49 stars. We're just going to go conquer Arizona and bring you back into the fold. I would be very angry if some outside countries started standing up for Arizona. I personally would tell those outside countries, mind your own fucking business. So in that aspect, I get a little bit of it. But then I have been told by scholars wiser than myself, which is all of them, that if you go back far to Russia, the Soviet Union had Ukraine as part. Go back further, and Ukraine wasn't part of Russia. So where do you want to stop? You want to dial the history knob all the way back. You can find a time when that area was not part of the Soviet Union, was not part of Russia. That's tough for me to figure out. But what Dr. Jekyll's saying is true. It's a bunch of fucked up mess anyway. And it's not like when if Ukraine wins this that we're going to be thinking, hey, we saved this honorable, loving. Now there's pretty fucking corrupt over there doing some shady shit. It's a tough one. Here's what I say, though. I don't like it when Russia kills people. I don't know about the Ukrainian government. I think they're all fucked up, but I don't know. But I know the Ukrainians, the people that live there, are pretty fucking cool. They're badass, too, but they didn't ask for any of this. Okay, so that's what that's my number one beef with Russia is like you're fucking with people that didn't ask to be fucked with. You got a problem with Ukraine's government and they got a problem with you. I get it. I understand that. But I'm mad that the war is hurting innocent people as war always does. That part I'm still pissed about. And I'm allowed to be pissed about it. Danny H., Ukraine is a proxy war we keep feeding. By doing so, it causes Russia to burn through resources that will take years to replenish, but we're basically bankrupting our own country to accomplish this. Incorrect. Everything you said was right. Danny H., everything you said was right, except we're not bankrupting our country at their expense. We can go a lot longer than that. Our country's fine. If our country goes bankrupt, not because we're giving some money to, God damn, the money we give to Ukraine, okay? The money we give to Ukraine is a drop in the bucket compared to what we give around the world every. Do you want to save ourselves from bankruptcy? Quit giving other people fucking money. All the people. J-Mac, why do we care about Ukraine? Well, it's like we just said. If we're funding that war on this side and Russia Russia's depleting its supply of money and weapons that's going to replenish itself, it's not fighting another war. Russia's not going to be fighting another war after this very soon. Can we agree with that? I got water. Just fucking my throat's closing up. I'm trying to use a cough drop here. I'm trying to save myself from looking like a fucking moron. I'm going to choke. Oh, I did. But it's getting to me. So we care about Ukraine because we care about the Ukrainian people, and we know he's right. We're making Russia burn through their money, which is a good thing. Mama Mac, home of the Revolutionary War Office here in Lebanon, Connecticut. We've maintained the office just in case. Oh, that's the funniest thing I've heard. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for putting that. That's great. Mama Mac, the Revolutionary War Office, they're keeping the floors swept and the filing cabinets filled just in case. Melanie Cole, member for 2 months. Husband and I are in Bakersfield, California, sitting at the Flying J waiting for our load home tonight. I didn't know that, Melanie. It's not too far from here. We're actually going out and about in a little bit. Maybe we'd see you. Deepak, member for 1 year. He is our ambassador to Ireland. President Biden forgot your number. I'm sure it's nothing personal. Deepak, thanks for clearing that up. I wonder why he wasn't calling. You know, normally I'm used to getting a call from somebody. You know, as Obama was terrible. He called me at 3 a.m. I'm like, dude, can this wait a couple hours? Like, no, man, we got to talk right now. All right. Stuart Bailey, one of our government ministers in the UK, was on TV showing off about giving F-16s to Ukraine. Then they had to be reminded that we don't have any. Well, here's something else I learned, too. The F-16s that we have given to other countries and the ones we've sold to other countries, in the contract it says you can't pass these along to someone else without our okay. Now, I'm not sure if everybody got that memo, but there's countries that would be giving F-16s to Ukraine right now, and our government's saying, no, not yet. And they can't. There's something in there that they're like, fuck, our hands are tied with that. So, all right. William Allen Pearson, again, $5, Whiskey Fund. And Rose's Civil War says it all feeds the rich while it buries the poor. There's some truth to that. A lot of people get rich when there's a war on. They do. Not me, but some people. William Allen Pearson, $10, Whiskey Fund. My opinion on why we won't give them the easy-to-train stuff is because Biden can't walk up a flight of steps. He falls up them and can't ride a bike, but falls once he stops and can't run. So what does that have to do? You're messing me up. What does that have to do with giving people stuff? Harley Davidson, happy belated birthday Wednesday. Now, was that me supposed to tell Harley his birthday was on Wednesday? Because she just wrote, Harley Davidson, happy belated birthday Wednesday. Now, is he wishing someone a happy birthday? Because, Harley, if you're wishing me a happy birthday, you missed it by a mile, not even last Wednesday. But if it's your birthday that we're missing, see, it's very unclear. When I read between the sheets over here, it's very unclear. Why? Because I have a low-paid, untrained staff that can't get their head out of their ass for 5 seconds. You know what she's doing in there? She's going through looking at dining room tables. That's what she's doing right now. She's online. She's circling dining room tables just to piss me off. Some people's kids. All right. Anyway. I think I was going to talk about there. And then did we talk about, two things real quick. There is an unexploded World War II bomb in Poland. Is that still there? Would somebody tell me if that's even still there? That can't be still there. It's confusing on what it is because if I think it's a German bomb that was dropped by Russia or something. I don't know. Confusing story, but it's still there. It's like a 550-pound bomb. Right in the middle of a residential zone. That's world news to me. I mean, how did that thing survive this long without just moisture rusting it to the point where it ignites? I don't get it. I'd like to know. The last thing was, for those of you, and someone can link you to this if they choose to. We did a podcast. The podcasts are now coming out Friday mornings instead of Thursday. So every Friday morning when you wake up and you're having your coffee, you're on your way to work, you're ready to start your weekend, there is an audio podcast of my wife and I where basically she beats the shit out of me for an hour. If you think I'm joking, go listen to the podcast. Every one of them is me. I open the show backpedaling. By the middle of the show, I'm already knocked on my ass twice, and I'm trying to get up before the bell counts. Boom! I'm trying to get back up. That's the way the whole show goes. However, this show that came out, my wife, Gen X mom, lovely, lovely, talented Gen X mom, she kind of stepped on her dick. And what I mean by that is that I was trying to tell you folks a story about the kid and his car. He has a little 1991 Toyota Camry, and it's a front-wheel drive. Just a little. He calls it 8-bit, as most of you know, because it looks like Minecraft graphics. He goes, "Why is this car so square, Dad? It's always square. This is stupid. It's square." Anyway, so he goes with his friends, and he acquires serving trays from like a restaurant. Like, here's your food, take it out there and sit down, Carl's Jr. or whatever. So they take these serving trays, these plastic serving trays, they go out to the middle of nowhere, and there's like these empty cul-de-sacs, no houses, no housing tracts, no nothing. They put them under the back wheels of their car. And they have a front wheel drive car. So the back wheels, they just put the e-brake on with these now plastic skid plates under the wheels, and they drive around. They drive around with the e-brake on and them just sliding all over the place because now there's no control out of the back. There's no rubber on the road. And they're, hopping up curbs and rolling things over in the desert and doing all this shit. Then when they burn those, they go get more. I was trying to tell you that story. I had part 2 to that kid's story on some stuff he was doing. I was trying to relay it to you, and she was very, very rude. If you listen to the podcast and you get to that point, my wife was so rude to me. None of you would blame me if I divorced her. No. None of you would. And that brings me to sunny point number 2. How come every article I see in the celebrity, the showbiz, the entertainment side, anywhere in the world, there's always these women or these men that have they just broke up with somebody. Oh, he cheated on me. He did this. He did that. 6 months later, they have literally found the hottest person in the world, and they're engaged to him in 6 months. I mean, that means that right after they broke up, they were connecting with these people every time. Now, that cannot be reality. I have broke up with my wife 13 or 14 times. And the next morning, I was never approached by some hot chick that was younger, prettier, and would do dirtier things, and she didn't fall in love with me, and she didn't come with steaks and donuts in her hands, and I was off and... No, every time, all 13 times, I came crawling back to my wife, begging for forgiveness, and starting the process over again. How do these people do this, where within minutes of them, in moments of them breaking up, they just got the hottest person ever lined up and ready to go? I don't know how they do it. I thought I had some mojo, but apparently not. Hawaiian 82. There's one off Tybee Island in Georgia, too. A bomb? Or I don't think he's talking about an F-16 in the water. Mr. Fatty, remember for 1 year, there is a nuclear bomb off the coast of Savannah, Georgia from a plane crash, and they never could find it. Jesus Christ. What if that thing goes off? Is there a chance that can go off? Come on. Reality, Poland, it's still there. 2,500 people are due to evacuate, the media reports. Yeah, they told them you didn't have to go. It was in a residential area. They're like, look, there's like 2,000 people. You guys need to fucking leave. This bomb goes off. They said it's gonna blow up and send shrapnel everywhere, but all of the brick buildings that are on it, there's going to be 400,000 pieces of flying red brick everywhere. And there's some old people going, fuck it, I'm fine. Noel, embrace humanity before it's too late. I would love to, but nobody will do it with me, Noel. Stuart Bailey, excuse me, my throat this morning. There are a few unexploded bombs that still turn up in the UK each year. Some of the bomb squads manage to make it safe, but others that are corroded, they just fill in the hole and leave it. Wow. They better be filling it in with lead and concrete and a little sign on the top says, don't stand here. You just cover them up in the UK? Is that like a normal thing around there for the UK? No, I'm asking, is that a normal thing? They just find the bombs like, yeah, fuck it, it's old. Cover it up and leave it. They put a sign up, don't stand here. Agnes Goulier, France, is in the house. I missed the beginning because I was listening to the podcast. Well, then, Agnes, you're forgiven if you're listening to the podcast. But we did cover, Agnes, if you heard, we did cover that my wife has now given me grounds for divorce because she was chushing me. Remember, did you hear? Yes, yelling right in my face. Very unkind, extremely unkind. All right, listen, I know it's only been half an hour, but there are strange things afoot at the Circle K, my fine feathered friends. There's stuff going on. The guy's going to be here in a second. I got to get some stuff moved around. If you don't know what I'm talking about, rewind the program and see. I said it right at the beginning. It was very clear on the matter. All right? I wasn't just spouting off nonsense, but there was no way I was going to miss the opportunity to at least speak to you guys, even if it's just 30 minutes. You guys need to have a great weekend. I'm going to drink some water and not try not to die here. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you for wasting 30 minutes with Gen X Talks. Oh, my goddamn throat's closing up. If you had a half an hour to waste, what better place to waste it than here? We did touch on some stuff from around the world. Don't complain that all I talked about was me. No. I did my job. Thank you, guys. We love you. We miss you. We'll catch you on the flip side.